Praise Jesus! We've got a special episode of Wrecking and Rapping today as a part of what I'm calling my Wrap It Up interview series. I'm sitting down with CrispyDrums from CrispyDrum.com, and he streams on kick.com/CrispyDrums. I would describe him as an American nationalist and a political social commentator. I've been watching you on Facebook under the name Drums Crispy 5.0. Have you only been...
I got banned on so many accounts.
Have you only been canceled four times then?
So what happened first, I had my original page, Crispy Drums, and then it was hacked probably by some like Indian guy. I don't know who did it. But I got hacked, and then I couldn't access it no more. And then I kept making more accounts, and then they kept getting banned from the For You page and recommendation page. So I had to make a whole new like admin account, and I have my new account now. So that's why the name is so weird.
Oh yeah,
I made like 4 accounts after that.
So for those that don't know your content, I would describe you as a bit of a provocateur. So you're gonna make some enemies and especially on social media. What are your debate influences? Like, who have you watched that you've learned to speak publicly, I guess?
My speaking influences, I'd say when it comes to learning about the variation of tone, so tone manipulation, variation of volume, manipulating speed, I'd say number one person I learned from was probably John Zirka. I really admired his speaking voice when I watched his content back in 2022, 2023. He was a very engaging speaker, and he could sit down and talk for 8 hours straight, and I would be engaged the whole time. And I wouldn't leave, my eyes wouldn't leave the screen. So that was definitely one of the biggest influences I could think of on the top of my head, right?
Because you mentioned tone and something else, maybe like cadence, but so you're also a drummer, so Crispy Drums, very good drummer. I'd like to say that. How do you feel that the debate and music that you're kind of controlling a crowd, that they coincide and they use similar skills, like similar words of tone?
You mean I'm captivating an audience that enjoys both? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, most of my audience plays instruments, listens to adjacent music to me, or something similar. But at most, they probably play an instrument. So yeah, I am captivating both.
Because I'm also thinking of how. So you have a very intense style of music, but you aren't always shouting. You have to go have your peaks and valleys, and that way you know when you're about to hit a punchline. Because I was watching you earlier when you were on that call of Unmeagle, and your line you dropped right before you left, I would lick the chocolate off you. So did you knew you were going to say that a little while ahead, and then you would be able to hang up on that line?
Yeah, sometimes I can do it off rip. I can think of a line off rip, but sometimes I'll let them speak, right? And then I'll wait for the perfect moment. Like that was the perfect moment, right? I'm not going to do it when she's talking. It's not going to land correctly, right?
I've noticed that you seem to have a tight core group. The internet now is so fragmented. I mean, you're on all these different platforms. You have to be constantly getting kicked off. How did you come to meet that group? Was it like Call of Duty, or I saw you posted Counter-Strike earlier?
Yeah, so the group I really hang around with and like I make content with and stuff, we all met each other through my content, right? Like I was posting, like I didn't always do political content. It was like in the past I did a lot of brain rot and incredibly provocative stuff. Like I would connect with people on Omegle, and I just have them talk. I would just put my hand on my pants and pretend to jerk off.
Yeah, I heard.
And like I would just get like reactions and clips like doing shit like that, and that built up a lot of my audience. And then a lot of the people I hang around with found me from that content. They were like, they thought it was hilarious. And then we also figured out we have like same political views and like similar political views. Don't agree on everything, obviously. But that's basically how, oh yeah, I found that
When you
group.
started, did you have any intention of sort of making videos or making a statement, or were you just, like you said, getting on Omegle, having fun?
Yeah, at first, I started off on a YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
which is my YouTube channel I have right now. I was just posting like very like normie friendly drumming videos and stuff. I was posting that, and that's how it started. I really wanted to start a drumming page because before that I had like a religious
Mm-hmm.
page, and before that I had a editing page where I was like I was a freelance editor. I still do it, not as to the scale I did. Like I used to like wake up, work, edit videos for 12 hours, go to bed. That was my life for a long time.
Hey, that's
So
a
like,
good training though for you to be doing what you're doing right now. How old are you?
yeah, people think this streaming stuff is hard. It's really not. I'm
Oh,
21,
nice.
but yeah, I was doing the editing. I was doing the editing stuff uh way before I started doing this. And this channel and this like whole drumming stuff, I was just posting normal drumming stuff. Like I wanted to do that because it's been a dream of mine since I was little to be big on social media. And then when I got a little older, I wanted to be a big drummer. When I started, I was like 15 years old. I'm 21 now. So yeah, about 6 years, I'd say I've been playing. So that was always been a big dream of mine. So when I really had YouTube channels before that go popular, like I don't know if you know the channel Crusty Moist, that was mine.
Okay.
That was my channel.
Interesting.
Yep, that was my channel. It was a religious page I started. I lost access to it because if you link a bunch of accounts to one email on YouTube, it will, if one of them gets suspended, you are no longer allowed to access all of them. So it's like that's really annoying. And I lost access to the channel, and I was really upset about that. And then I got into like editing. I got into like freelance editing, and then I started that drumming page. That's kind of like where I started. But I transitioned into more political content um, because I mean I started really getting into, if you want to call it, far right politics in like
Mhm.
2022, 2023, late 2022, early 2023. That's when I started to get into really far right politics. I've always been interested in them, but I was never comfortable about expressing it publicly. Even when I posted my first political video, I was very uncomfortable doing it. I was very nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. Um, Obviously, got a ton of backlash, right? People did not like it. They were like, what the fuck is this? Are you serious? This guy's racist.
Mhm.
This guy's homophobic. This guy's this,
Yeah.
right? I was getting a lot of that. So yeah, but it eventually did work out, right? Eventually, I would say it was worth it. And it was just kind of like eating at my heart. I was like, I really wanted to express this stuff. I didn't want to be afraid to, right? And that's why I did it.
Yeah, that's great. So, what were you doing during lockdown then of COVID? That's what I'm thinking of, 22, 23. Is that did that help contribute to it? I mean, there's nothing else you could do to go outside, so I guess you were away on.
I can, I'm going to explain my full red pill. It's going to be a really long
Hey,
story,
that's why we're here.
but, um, yep, this is going to be my full explanation of my red pill. So I was a Trump supporter in 16, like when he was really, really unpopular to support. Like supporting him in 16, 15 was like supporting
Mhm.
Hitler, right? It was like you basically had no social life. Everyone cut you off, right? No one liked you. He was a really controversial candidate at the time. I was a supporter in 16, and I was watching like Ben Shapiro destroys liberals, like slop like
You
that,
did like
and this
Ben
made me,
Shapiro at the time? You were a fan? Yeah.
yeah, like in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
16,
Back
yeah,
then.
I like Ben Shapiro. Yeah, back then. I'm not a big
Yeah, yeah,
fan of
yeah.
him now, obviously, but I figured out about Owen Schroyer through that content because he was doing similar content, going to protests and the college campuses and destroying liberals
Mhm.
on live stream. But then this made me figure out about Infowars. So this is my first
Oh.
taste of the deeper level of politics. I learned about the globalists and the pedophile elites and all this stuff through Alex. And yeah, that was the deepest I got at the time. And a little after that, I was a part of this. iFunny community that was called like Deep iFunny or some stupid shit like that. And they were posting videos about like really far right memes about like Jews like destroying the white birth rate and Somalians like raping people. And I'm just looking at my phone. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? What is this? Like, it was too much for me at the time. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, so in the beginning, it kind of starts as a meme of the killing kids in Palestine, and now it is world news, and you can speak on it in a more serious tone. I mean, yeah, now you're not as censored as 23 would have been too.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely not a censor, but there's more. There's obviously more that played into it. So, I was still super young at the time. I was probably like 13, 14 years old, right? So I did eventually fall out of politics. I stopped worrying about it so much because I just wanted to play video games and have sex. I was like 14 years
Yeah.
old, you know. I didn't want to care about that stuff anymore. So, um, then the next thing I remember being introduced to like more far right stuff is I had friends that were political in high school. This is when I started getting into progressive politics, right? I was more of a progressive when I was in high school. I had this other friend who was completely like far right, like he starts questioning the
Oh
Holocaust,
yeah.
right? So it when I was there, and I'm thinking this guy's like nuts, like what the hell? And he's saying like, why would you kill people that like work for your nation? Like that makes zero sense. Like he's telling me all this. I'm so baffled by what I'm hearing. I'm like, what the like?
Yeah.
And that was my second introduction to that. But what really kicked off what spiraled into my radicalization is I got a really good taste of female nature when I was 18 years old. I broke up with this girl. I was in a really long relationship, not really long, it was like a year and a half, but I was in a relationship with, and I got a good taste of female nature for the first time. She broke up with me 3 days before we were supposed to go on a trip, so that really hurt at the time. I was like, damn. Um, then this is when I start getting into people like John Zirka. I start watching um, dating content, red pill content like that. And one of the things he said that really resonated with me was when a woman tells you to open up, that is the ultimate Medusa test, and you need to stand your ground. And it really resonated with me because I personally experienced that. Right? I had her say open up, and guess what I did? I cried like a
Said, I want a
I cried
man.
like a bitch in front of her. Yeah, bro. Like I cried like a bitch in front of her, and then he was my pipeline into finding out about Nick. That's how I
I
found
was
out
going to
about Nick.
ask if you were a groiper.
Yeah, I mean, got the hat right here.
Oh, nice.
Right?
America
You
first,
can't really see
America
the background
only.
right now, but and yeah, that's why I found out about Nick, and he's talking about Israel, the Jews, the Jewish cabal, and I was like, okay, I've heard this stuff before, but I'm gonna put all my biases to the side. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna really see, is this Jewish question hold weight? And it does. Like it holds a lot of weight. Like, and people are starting to realize that now. At the time, this is when like before like the huge awakening happened, like right before. So I'm realizing all about this. I'm watching Europa. I'm watching these documentaries. I'm looking at the Goyim TV flyers and stuff. I'm looking at all that stuff. I'm like, holy the stuff I thought was absolutely insane when I was younger is like 100% true. That is insane.
Yeah, it is.
And that was my red pill on the Jews, right? But then my red pill on race was two things. First was being a freelance video editor. I personally experienced the job shortage, and one of the things I will never forget is when I was applying for a video editing job. On one of the job applications at the top, it said preferred locations, and it was every single city in India. It was every single city in India. No, nowhere in the U.S. was preferred. Nowhere. And I'm just like, are you like what? Like I'm baffled by this. I'm like, they're really like out to just hire Indians. Like they're targeting Indians. Not that not that they were the best for the job. They're targeting Indians. Like
It's that
they really want to hire.
stapling visas to diplomas.
Yeah, like they're doing that. They really are. I got a good taste of it. And my other thing that red pill me really on like race being genetic and biological is I mean black people, if I'm being honest. Like
Just
I
experience.
I was in oh yeah, I was in Detroit one time and I walk outside of a 7-Eleven. I'm about like 18, 19 years old at the time. Um I walk right outside of it. I turn to my right and I see this homeless guy, not bothering nobody. He's just eating food, doing his own business. And this black guy comes up and just kicks him in the head as hard as he can. No reason at all. But that guy was no everyone on that strip or that part of the sidewalk was just minding their business. And instead of the black guy being like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that," he laughs and walks away like he was like happy that he did that. And that was so eye opening to me. I was like,
Yeah.
and you may be thinking like, why did you pin that on their race? Well, it's like, ever seen a Mexican guy doing that? Ever seen an Asian guy do that? Ever seen a white guy do that? Ever seen an Arab guy do that? Only a black guy, right? And then this led me to look into like things like crime stats and to look into IQ and race and other things like that.
Yeah.
That's basically my full red pill.
Oh yeah, it's great to hear. I mean, I'm one that just got red pilled yesterday, sort of. I started watching Nick after the Tucker cost, and it's eye opening, but especially so I'm 37 years old for anyone that doesn't know, millennial, I guess, and I hang out with a lot of Gen Xers. They don't know like any of this stuff. Yeah, I've watched Europa, like you said. And you can't talk to people about it or they shut it down. And you trying to talk about it on the internet for the last couple years, it would get shut down right away. And that's why, you were getting canceled. And even the
It was
IQ stuff you can't talk about because you have like you described of that, the job, the preferred locations, you've been oppressed. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is like, the white young men of this generation, even myself growing up had it a little bit, but it just got worse and worse as time was going on of this group. And we see it with Chud. I heard you talking about him earlier with the legal case in Carmelo Anthony, that this group is going to be treated with preferential treatment because the low IQ probably or high crime rate. And then this group that is always being good, we're going to punish them as much as possible. And then for the generation thing, I think for a while it's been happening that the government or powers that be, they don't want strong men because they stand up for themselves. So they had to repress that even from your childhood or mine as well.
Yeah, what they truly fear is strong white men with a sense of racial pride and racial consciousness. That's truly what they fear. That's why they always try to, in our school system, they try to paint our history in a really, really bad light since you were young. They try to tell you, oh, the slave trade was actually ran by majority white people.
Yeah, maybe we're having some internet disturbances. Okay, I want to ask, what is a wigger from your merch?
So, yeah, I mean, it's basically just a white guy who acts really black, right? It's a meme, like it's a meme if you're wondering.
Yeah.
But I try to take back the term. We can take back terms. We don't have to have the fucking wiggers steal the wigger from us. We can be wiggers, bro. We can be eloquent, smart.
Is it a positive? That's why I want to ask. Positive or negative?
Wiggers, right?
It's okay.
Positive. It is like more of a meme, like, oh, I'm a wigger, wigga. You know, you can say wigga, but we can say wigger. You know, like it is more of like a meme. But we can take back terms, all right? We don't need to embody the white trash of that word. We can always
There's also a self-confidence, especially if anybody's trying to put you down, you can use that to be self-confident. Like you said, the one thing they fear is a strong white man or a white man confident of himself. So you can use that term to empower yourself. Like, I'm not just anybody, I'm a wigger.
Exactly. We're wigger maxing and we're taking back the terms, bro. Wigger maxing, we're wiggers. We're taking back the terms. We're gonna have it be something positive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's what I'm all about. Because So you mentioned starting off with the drums, and then you got into the sort of shock jock stuff, and now I see you talking about we are done with that. That you have to constantly keep evolving and reinventing yourself. Have you put in thoughts? I mean, I see obviously you're a master rage baiter, and I see you're starting to work on more serious debates. Is that where you're headed now? You want to try and have clean debates?
I personally enjoy debates. Yeah, I personally enjoy debates a lot. Right, like if you watch my debates, I get super serious, right? Because I really enjoy them, right? Yeah, I said, I did do a lot of rage bait content, and I think the pro white movement, whatever you want to call it, it does eventually need to mature itself. Like the shock jock stuff, it made sense in the past when all this stuff was heavily censored, but it's not anymore. So it would really be no point to be as provocative as possible anymore, right? Does that mean we can't have fun? We can still have fun. We can still crack jokes. We can still be funny. Like, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it just needs to transition to something more serious, and that's why I'm doing more of the debates and commentary and more stuff like this too. So
Yeah, with the cracking jokes and being funny, I think time and place for everything. So if you're in your Discord, you say whatever you want, and I appreciate your free speech advocacy that you are pushing it even with the shock jock stuff. But yeah, I agree that the Overton window has shifted, and everybody knows about this stuff. You're allowed to talk about it. So now it's even a little cliche to just be harping on Jews and race. Even you have to create the bigger ideas, and that's what debates are great for. That to get to a deeper idea. Have you thought about law school or anything like that, like a lawyer in terms of like a professional debater in that sense?
thought of getting a
No,
lawyer,
you
or
becoming one. I mean, you are educating yourself and strengthening your own brain. But so if you study for the LSATs, you'll see that there's a different way that lawyers speak, or the burden of evidence is higher. The words have to come together in a certain way to prove something. Otherwise, we're just throwing words around. And that's what I see in a lot of debates, especially when you have a low IQ opponent. It's just they're going to throw emotions and you're going to throw answers, but it goes nowhere. What the law is able to do, and logic, like syllogistic logic, you're able to put the words in such a way that it's undeniable. And the famous example is Socrates is a man, all men are mortal, therefore Socrates is mortal. So A equals B, B equals C, A equals C. Are you familiar with logic in that sense?
I think you're saying like convey your ideas more like a lawyer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, but there is a certain technique to how they think that is different than what people in the day to day are aware of. That's I see because I've seen you in videos talking to people, and you talk the same stuff, and then you'll bring out some great knowledge of some law case or law that changed hundreds of decades ago. So you have this brain that is a powerhouse. I'm excited watching it grow, especially like that you need more serious opponents. I heard you have your first official debate on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I've done um like, I don't even know if it was really a debate. I did this guy named Eban Films. He was very mad at my rage bait, so it wasn't really a debate. It lasted like 3 minutes and he left. So like, and it was just us like yelling at each other. It wasn't really a debate.
Yeah.
But if you want to consider that my first official, yeah. But like first official sit down, it's not just gonna be like a TikTok panel or a mega like I usually do. It's gonna be like it's gonna be actually like we're gonna get on call. We're gonna probably have opening statements, moderation, all that.
Yeah.
Right? So it'll be my first official. And I do appreciate you saying about the knowledge thing, but I have not considered being a lawyer. I've had people tell me that like I should be a lawyer. I would be good at that. right? But I have not considered that. I'm honestly, if I can clean up my act, like I could honestly consider running for like local politics where I live in
Oh yeah.
Michigan too, because I see the candidates here and they're jokes. Like I saw this video today of one of the candidates for the House in Michigan.
Hmm.
Um, she started her video off showing her, like, not showing her crotch, but she put the camera down to where her crotch is. Then she picked it up. She's like, "Yeah, I am a cunt." It's like, is this what we're
Yeah.
gonna be allowed to vote for? Like, are you serious? Like, we need some serious candidates. Like,
Agreed.
and that's what I thought to myself. I'm like, I gotta run at this point. It's like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
I think that's a great another route to go. I mean, a lot of politicians just have law degrees, so they start out that way, and the pre-program for law is usually philosophy, so that you're a thing Socrates did was make the weaker argument the stronger argument, so that you can always win an argument, even if yours isn't better. Did you like Charlie? Were you a fan of Charlie Kirk?
No, I was not a fan of
Okay,
Charlie Kirk.
but he was
Yeah, so it's funny because people compare me to him a
oh
lot,
really?
right? Even though I was not a fan of him.
What do they just the back and forth that you do?
No, I never took any inspiration from him. I never really liked him, but it's absolutely terrible what happened to him, and I
Oh
hate
yeah.
seeing people like glorify the violence that was committed against him. I can I can disagree with Charlie, and I can say I don't like him, right? But what happened to him is absolutely wrong, and it's kind of sad. Like I mean, it's really sad what happened to him. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
So I mean, I only pray that you know his family gets better, and I pray less stuff like that happens in the future. I don't want stuff like that to happen. So yeah,
Yeah, that
but
was.
yeah, people say like, "Oh, you remind me of Charlie Kirk," and I'm like, I'm surprised, huh?
But that was probably my the beginning of my red pill was when he got assassinated, and all these people around me were celebrating. And it's like I thought you were normal people, and now I see the true you. But what I want to ask in that vein, and along with Chud the Builder, because you do this provocative stuff and almost combative. Uh, where do you worry about your own future in terms of that? Are you going to end up in jail or assassinated by your enemies?
Right? I mean, the thing about getting killed or punched or shot or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, Charlie Kirk wasn't even a provocative, and that
Yeah.
happened to him.
Yeah.
So right, if even if which I do want to, I try to take a more serious lens now. Even if I do that, there's still a chance for that, right? So I signed up for this when I first got into it, right? There's going to be people that want to kill me, obviously. I get death threats all the time, so
Mm-hmm.
like, there's going to be people who want to kill me, obviously, right? It doesn't worry me. I think what I do is worth it. I think what I spread and talk about and um, what I push is definitely worth it. And I think it is to save this nation. I think it's worth to put my life on the line. Obviously, it's gonna suck, right? Like that's like I mean, I don't even know how to really convey this. Like, it's not easy to do that. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's not easy to do that. Obviously, I know. Let's say someone kills me. I know my family's gonna be super devastated. All that, but I mean, I am willing to take the risk to uh to do this and to address the Charlie Kirk thing. Like, yeah, like when I had my old audience, I remember a lot of them were celebrating.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
a lot of them were like, "Oh, Pack Watch, Rip Bozo." Like, I was like, "Holy like, it's like, you know what I mean?" I told him, I'm like, "I don't even like the guy, but you're like a piece of shit for like literally celebrating that." So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that opened your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I and obviously the whole world has changed sort of in the last 6 months, and I don't know if that started it for everybody. Do you believe there are 8 billion people on Earth?
Do I believe 8 billion? Uh, I mean, I'm willing to accept it, right? I mean, I'm willing to accept that 8 billion people are on Earth. It's just a matter of like, is that small or not, right? And then they'll get into like the whole like, oh, we're overpopulated. We need to,
Hmm.
that's when people bring up that like population size of the Earth conversation. I already know what's coming. We're gonna talk about how the Earth's overpopulated and we need to stop having kids and like
Start
stuff
eating
like that. I'm willing to
bugs.
accept 8 billion people around the Earth. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm. Well,
Um,
s- s-
I'm willing to accept that, but if there's less, I wouldn't. I'll be willing to accept that there's less if there's like good evidence
yeah,
for it.
that's why I bring it up, because you, in your conversations, bring up to a lot of people they're believing the old story, and then they give these talking points to you, and you say, well, that's not true, and here's the facts. And that's a new one to me, the 8 billion people, that it's not a thing that I can prove. And then it was brought to me in the sense of, well, these numbers are being reported by the UN, so do we trust that those numbers in the first place? They're tied to being given aid. So if we have more of a population, we need more aid. So there is an incentive to lie about them. That's why I think it's is interesting idea. And yeah, of course, the climate change stuff comes up. I also want to ask, what do you mean everything I know about drumming is a lie?
That's like one of my really old slogans. I'm actually glad you brought that up.
Okay.
When I was just focusing on like music content, I made that slogan up because what a lot of people will want to teach you about learning any instrument, this is about any instrument, is it's a linear process. It's step by step. And I come in and say, no, it's deeper than that. It's not just linear. There's like a metaphysical process to it. There is like an internal process to it. Like you can shift your internal identity. You can use tools like your imagination to increase your progress. It's not just you wake up, you do this routine, go to bed, and that's all you can do. Like there's way more uh you can do about it. You can, like I said, identity shift. There's things like visualization. Right. There's plenty more to, mindset shift as well. There's more of an internal process than most people will lead on.
Hmm.
Right. And a lot of people, they will tell me like, oh, I'm stuck at this tempo. I'm stuck at this tempo, is because you're lingering in an identity that's stuck at this tempo. I am stuck at this tempo.
Hmm.
That's your identity. And you need to shift the identity to move forward. Right. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
What is your self identity?
Drummer, political commentator, debater, right? Musician. That's definitely
I
my
was going to say,
identity.
I am the greatest. You can have that one too.
World's most bass and famous
Oh,
drummer. Yeah.
yeah. I have seen that. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. Do you want to shout out any of your stuff to promote yourself before we get off?
Uh, CrispyDrums.com. Get your merch. All my links are available on there, as well as my music and my streams. All of that. And debate on Monday, 6:30 p.m. EST. Don't miss it. We'll be debating if black violence is caused by culture or by genetics. That's the debate.
Mm. Do you have an opinion already?
Well, yeah, it's genetics, right? Like it's
Why so? Or what's your evidence? Just crime rates?
well, a lot of people like to say, no, not just crime rates. A lot of people want to say like, oh, culture and environment are why like black people have higher crime rate,
Mhm.
etc., etc. But we can take a look at that in general. Their race does have a lower IQ on average, and there's tons of studies done about it. That people who have a lower IQ are typically more violent. And there's also studies done that black people have higher testosterone on average too compared to whites,
Mhm.
right? And if you take that two into factor, lower IQ causes to you to be more violent, and it's no secret that a higher testosterone in males will make them more aggressive. Comparing this, it'll explain why their violence rates are so high, even in sub-Saharan Africa, right? Because you can't just make the environment argument that, oh, it's just they have to be in a different
Mhm.
environment. It's like, okay, but like Africa, you can look at sub-Saharan Africa, still incredibly violent, right? So
Yeah.
that's basically like my position.
Yeah, I think the combination of low IQ creating aggression and then high testosterone. I've heard someone say being black is like being on steroids already for the terms of testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with your debate on that. Uh, I'm
Appreciate.
sure you'll ruffle some feathers. Keep going with that. Do not let this system beat you down.
No, they're not. They're not going to beat me down. I'm not going to let people guilt trip me into toning it down or whatever, or just stop talking about what I believe in. So
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Crispy Drums, for speaking with me. I guess that's all I've got. Go with God.